This is section 7-1, and it's adding and subtracting polynomials. What you're going to do is you're going to fold along this line and along this line so that when you fold those, you end up with a little booklet. And after you do that, you'll cut just from here to here and here to here so that you'll have little flaps on your foldable. And if you have time, you can come back in and color these with colored pencils if you'd like. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is, let me see on this page, on the front page, we're going to do the degree of a polynomial. And so I'm going to just give you some polynomials. Okay. And they're going to get bigger as we go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit this one. 4x squared y squared plus 5x minus 2y plus 6. Okay, so the degree is talking about the exponents, and the first one does not have an exponent, so that's degree 0. It's a constant. The next one has a degree of 1, and it is considered linear. If we were to graph this, it would make a line because it has one variable. And then the next one, the greatest exponent that we have is x squared, and so it's a second degree, and we call second degrees quadratics. Later in the year, we will be graphing quadratics, and they make parabolas. So they make this shape, and linear makes this shape. Okay, and the constant makes a line also, but with no slope. Then we have 3 in our exponent, which is kind of hard to see, but we have this 2 here, and because it's with the y, there's an invisible 1. So this is a third degree polynomial, and we call that a cubic. And that makes this shape, which you'll learn in Algebra 2. And then we have a fourth degree polynomial because this exponent and this exponent add together, and those are the largest ones. There are 4, and we just call it a fourth degree. And the shape that it makes is a wider parabola. And then they just go back and forth. So like this would make a parabola also, and then when you get to the 5th degree, it goes like this, and it just goes back and forth between these shapes. So that's a little preview for Algebra 2. And that's the degree of a polynomial. Another way that we can classify polynomials is by the number of terms. So I'm going to give you some polynomials again. We'll have 4x, x plus 7, negative 5x squared y plus x squared plus x, and 4x squared y squared, I think this is going to be the same one we had before, plus 5x minus 2y plus 6. And we actually don't need this last line in our table. So the number of terms, that's what is being separated by a plus or a minus. So we have one term here. We have two terms here. We have this one, and this one. See, they're separated by pluses. So we have 3 terms. And if you'd like, you can use a highlighter as well when you're doing your foldable. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. They're separated by pluses and minuses. And we have 4 terms. So we use some Latin here, some Latin roots to name these. Mono means 1, so we have a monomial. Bi means 2, like a bicycle, so this is a binomial. And then you could have a tricycle, so that'd be a trinomial, meaning 3. And once we get above 3, anything above 3 is just a polynomial. So if I were to have another row here and we had 5 terms, it would still be a polynomial. Okay. In this section, we are adding polynomials. So it's like collecting like terms. So the first box that we'll work on is adding polynomials with algebra tiles. So we're going to use this square to show an x squared. And we have 4 of those right here. And to help you out, the algebra tiles show you visually what the like terms are, because we have another x squared here which we could draw. Then we have x's. And when we have positives or negatives, we use a different color to show that. So with negatives, I like to use red. See how it says minus 3x? I'm going to draw those as rectangles with an x. And then I'll just put a little negative on them. But we also have a positive 2x, so I'm going to use green for that. And if you remember, a positive and a negative cancel, they become a 0 pair. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then I'll use purple for the 5. Those are just 1. One little square is 1. Now we just need to collect like terms. So the first one is easy, the x squareds, and we put the highest degree first. That's called standard form. So in standard form, we have 5x squared. Then we need to make our 0 pairs. So we have an x and a minus x. Those cancel, an x and a minus x, leaving us with just minus x. Then we have our 5 singletons, so our constant of 5. And we would call this a quadratic trinomial because the degree is 2 and there are 3 terms, so trinomial. So the degree is a quadratic and the terms is a trinomial. So those are important things as well to know about. All right. There are other ways to add without using algebra tiles, and you may prefer this if you're understanding the concept. So we're going to add, and I'm going to just write the first polynomial, the binomial, And then I'm going to write the other one under it, but I'm going to line it up. So I'm going to put the x's lined up underneath each other. We're going to add these. So you get 3x squared. You get 2x minus x is just x. Because you could draw that if you needed to. And you would see that you would have a 0 pair with a positive x remaining, right? So you would have x, and you would have an x, and you would have a minus x. These ones cancel, leaving us with just the x. And then we have plus 9. And that is it, and it is also a quadratic trinomial. Then you can also add horizontally. And when you add horizontally, you just write them across. 3x squared plus 2x plus negative x plus 9. And we end up combining like terms, so those become x, and we bring down the plus 9, and we bring down the 3x squared plus x. So that's how you can add vertically and horizontally. And now you have completed your foldable for section 7-1.